My name is Aida Lugo McAllister, author of Aida's Kitchen a lo Boricua, a bilingual Puerto Rican cookbook. I am going to demonstrate how to prepare tembleque, coconut pudding, a recipe from my cookbook. Tembleque is a light, sweet, coconut-flavored pudding with a jiggly texture and typically dusted with ground cinnamon prior to serving. The consistency is very similar to Jell-O. The name Tembleque is derived from the Spanish word temblar, which means to shake. The main ingredient for this pudding is coconut milk. You can use canned or fresh coconut milk. For this demonstration, I will be using fresh coconut milk. However, whether you prefer canned or fresh coconut milk, it has a tendency to separate the coconut cream on top and the liquid at the bottom. So mix well prior to use. Let's start preparing the fresh coconut milk. This is a pre-scored coconut, a nutty fruit that is covered by a hard brown and hairy shell. Inside the shell is the white oily meat and clear coconut water. We need to puncture the eyes of the coconut in order to drain the coconut water. Let's hold a small screwdriver in place over the eye and gently tap it with a hammer until it punctures through the coconut. Continue this process for the other two eyes. The eyes of the coconut have been punctured. We can now shake the coconut to release the coconut water into a bowl. Let's crack open the coconut with a hammer, place the coconut on a kitchen towel, and tap the coconut shell around the equator, the pre-scored line, until you completely crack open the coconut shell. Separate the two coconut halves with your hands. To remove the flesh from the shell, tap one half of the coconut shell with a hammer several times to crack the shell open. Let's turn over the coconut. You might be able to remove the flesh from the shell with your hands. Or use a table knife to pry the meat off from the shell. And you continue this process. The coconut meat has a brown skin on the back, which is edible. It is not necessary to remove the brown skin. However, you can remove the brown skin with a vegetable peeler if you so desire. I rinse the coconut meat with cold water to remove any small pieces of the shell attached to the flesh. Pour 4 cups of cold water into an electric blender. Add the coconut meat. Place lid and blend for approximately 2 minutes on high or until well blended. After blending the coconut mixture for several minutes, the coconut mixture has a smooth consistency. The next step is to strain the coconut mixture. I placed a fine mesh sieve over this bowl. Now I'm going to line the sieve with cheesecloth. Pour the coconut mixture through the cheesecloth. Lift the edges of the cheesecloth and squeeze out the liquid with your hands. Remove the sieve from the bowl. And here you have your coconut milk. We can now make the tembleque, coconut pudding. I am going to use this saucepan as my mixing bowl and cooking vessel. Let's pour 3½ cups of coconut milk and 3/4 cup of chilled water. Using a whisk, mix both ingredients until well blended. Add 1/2 cup of cornstarch. The cornstarch serves as a thickener. Stir until the cornstarch dissolves completely into the coconut milk. Let's continue by adding 2/3 cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of light salt or to taste, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. Mix all the ingredients until well blended. Before we start cooking the coconut mixture, let's get the molds ready so we can immediately pour the coconut mixture after it has been cooked. Rinse the molds and shake off any excess water. You want to retain some moisture inside each mold because it will help release the coconut pudding once it has been refrigerated. If you prefer, you can use a square baking pan 8 by 8 by 2 inches. Place the saucepan on top of stove, in my case, induction cooker, over medium-high heat. Stir continuously with a spoon until the coconut mixture starts to thicken. approximately 3 to 7 minutes. The coconut mixture is starting to thicken, so reduce heat to a simmer. And continue stirring the coconut mixture until it completely thickens. By constantly stirring the coconut mixture as it is cooking, you avoid any lumps forming. You want to obtain a thick and creamy texture. The coconut mixture is perfect, thick, creamy, and smooth. Pour the coconut mixture into individual molds. Allowed at least a ½ inch space from the top of the mold. Smooth the top of the coconut mixture with a spoon. Once all the molds are filled with the coconut mixture, let stand at room temperature to slightly cool before placing them in the refrigerator for several hours until it sets, or overnight. Yesterday I made some coconut pudding, so now we can continue with this cooking demonstration. To remove the coconut pudding, press gently with your fingers to separate the pudding from the mold. Let's invert the mold onto a plate and give it a little jiggle until the coconut pudding is released. Dust lightly on top of coconut pudding with ground cinnamon using a small sieve, and lightly tap on the side of the sieve to release the ground cinnamon. Serve the coconut pudding garnished with shredded coconut. Let's taste the Tembleque coconut pudding. The Tembleque has a creamy light texture with rich coconut flavors. And it jiggles. Qué rico. For your information, many times I prepare this dish using the seeds from a vanilla bean or vanilla extract. I hope you have enjoyed watching my YouTube video on how to prepare Tembleque coconut pudding. Thank you for watching my YouTube cooking video. Please share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you would like a copy of my cookbook, visit my website, idaskitchenboricua.com, and click on the cookbook tab. My cookbook is a bilingual Puerto Rican cookbook, and it contains 42 authentic Puerto Rican recipes that I learned how to cook while living in Puerto Rico. This side is the English version. If you flip the book over, the other side is the Spanish version. Again, thank you for watching my YouTube cooking video.